Hi, in the previous video, I showed you how to set up your CI/CD pipeline using GitHub Actions. In that video, I showed you how to set up a service account, download the key of that service account, and use it for your authentication. In this video, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to use Workload Identity Federation, which is safer and you don't have to deal with service account keys. I have my terminal open. The first thing we're going to do is to enable the necessary APIs. Next, we'll create a Docker repository in the Google Artifact Registry. This is where our built Docker images will be stored before deployment. We are naming our repository repo and placing it in the US Central 1 region. And also, I'm using my project name. You gotta use yours written in here. Now I'm going to create a Cloud Run service deploying the default public Hello World image. Now let's create a dedicated Google Cloud service account. This service account will be impersonated by our GitHub Actions workflow through Workload Identity Federation. We'll name it gha-cloudrun-deployer. Make sure to note down the service account email, as we will need it later. Now that our service account is created, we're going to grant it the necessary permissions for it to do its job. We're going to give it run.admin, im.serviceAccountUser, and artifactregistry.writer. Now I'm going to create my identity pool. I'm calling it gh-pool and I'm placing it on location global. Next, we need to retrieve the full resource path of our newly created pool. Take note of this string. Now we're going to create our GitHub OI/CD provider. It ensures that only tokens coming from this repository can be used. So let's create it. As you can see, this is my repository. Make sure to change it in here. Finally, we established the explicit permission for our GitHub repository to impersonate our service account. All that being done, let's go to Visual Studio Code. That's my deploy.yaml. Every time I push to the main branch, I'm going to authenticate to Google Cloud using the workload identity provider that I have and the service account that I have created. Simple. I'm going to Dockerize the file, push it to Artifact Registry, and then deploy it to Cloud Run. Let's see if it works. Open a terminal. Git init, git add dot. Go to your GitHub page, just copy those lines. And let's see the magic. Go to Actions, refresh the page. And I can see my first commit is running. All done. It was successful, as you can see. Now, if I go back to Google Cloud and go to Cloud Run, I have my Cloud Run service and a public URL that I can access. It works. And that's the end of this video. We could set up a CI/CD pipeline to GitHub Actions that does not require us to manage service account keys.